When bystanders witnessed the sight of a man strolling with his 6 unbound German shepherds, they marveled at the remarkable discipline exhibited by the dogs. A few even speculated that the man might be subjecting the dogs to mistreatment to attain such obedience. However, their astonishment and disbelief reached new heights when they eventually unveiled his hidden method. Upon encountering Augusto de Oliveira on the streets of Hyannis, Massachusetts, bystanders were immediately captivated. This young man in his early 20s was leading a tightly knit assembly of German shepherds. Right from the outset, it was evident that these dogs operated as a seamless collective, showcasing astonishing unity and obedience. At the heart of this spectacle stood Augusto, their proud owner, unmistakably the alpha of this extraordinary pack. The display of raw power, combined with unwavering submission, left onlookers utterly astounded, prompting a barrage of inquiries. As they attempted to unravel the mystery behind Augusto's remarkable achievement, skepticism grew. Many in the crowd were dog owners themselves, yet none had managed to train their pets to match the prowess of Augusto's German shepherds. Even seasoned dog trainers and animal experts struggled to fathom how these canines moved in such perfect synchrony under these unconventional circumstances. When one daring observer approached the pack more closely, they stumbled upon an astounding revelation. Not a single one of the German shepherds wore a leash, yet they moved as if connected by invisible bonds, akin to the harnesses used to unite a team of sled dogs. It was as though unseen threads linked them together in a mesmerizing display of harmony. Every dog followed Augusto's orders and stayed in their designated spot when he spoke. These dogs were super well behaved, like a group of soldiers, and they never fought or argued with each other. They didn't pay attention to other dogs passing by, even if those dogs were barking loudly from behind fences or walking on leashes with their owners. All they cared about was their group and their leader, and nothing else. People would watch in amazement as Augusto and his dogs took their daily walks around Hyannis streets and parks. Some people were so impressed by their unusual behavior that they would ask to take pictures with them. With just one command from Augusto, the dogs would stop and pose for a picture. Once the fans were satisfied with their photos, Augusto would whistle, and the dogs would go back to their positions behind his legs. Before long, this young man and his pack of dogs became the talk of the town. People started whispering and speculating that something strange might be happening. Some neighbors and onlookers were indeed suspicious of Augusto, who seemed to only spend time with his dogs. He didn't seem to have many friends, and he appeared socially awkward. Very few people ever visited his house, leading to a belief that he didn't have any human friends at all. In the evenings, self-appointed investigators would spend hours outside his apartment, peeping through the curtains and listening for any clue that might explain how such a meek man was getting all those fierce dogs to obey him. They suspected that he might be mistreating them into submission, and some even went through his trash cans to try and expose him. One such neighbor was a nosy lady who had dedicated her life to the rescue of stray animals. She was convinced that Augusto made use of electric shock collars to enforce obedience in his dogs. This same woman went around the neighborhood to gather support for a petition. She wanted the authorities to get involved and investigate this so-called abusive dog owner. Augusto could have probably dissipated all these doubts himself if he had clearly explained his training methods, but whenever he was asked about them, he remained very secretive. Unknowingly, this reluctance to confess contributed to the suspicions. At most, he would divulge that it had taken him a lot of devotion and patience to fine-tune his methods to the level where he could walk his dogs in public without the necessity of using leashes. To be fair, everybody knew this was true. It was no secret that he had dedicated his life to becoming an expert dog trainer. Augusto had grown up with German shepherds, a herding breed known for their courage and loyalty. These dogs have a strong propensity for guarding what they deem precious and will not hesitate to put their lives on the line in defense of their loved ones. Anyone could see that this pack of dogs would protect Augusto with their lives. But this blind loyalty eventually became the feature that probed the police to follow up on the elaborate complaint of potential animal abuse. In some people's minds, there was no way that these dogs were simply being obedient because they respected Augusto. Their owner must have been employing some sinister methods of torture to compel them to unwavering obedience. If nosy neighbors and uninformed citizens would have taken the time to do their homework, This intrusion of privacy could easily have been avoided. Although Augusto made a life for himself in Massachusetts, he had grown up in Brazil. As a boy, he was surrounded by German shepherds and had immediately shown a keen interest in animal behavior. Augusto would spend hours among the dogs on a Brazilian farm. It was almost by chance that he had discovered that he had a natural ability to influence their behavior. When police officers entered his apartment, they were stunned by what they saw. Augusto and his canines were leading an unusual and different kind of lifestyle. There were no signs of dog kennels or pens where Griffin, Harmony, Jenna, Priscilla, Hannah, and Savannah slept. Instead, the dogs all shared a bed with Augusto. No couch or carpet was off limits for Augusto's companions and friends. This was a man who clearly ate and breathed dogs. The police were puzzled, so they asked animal experts to watch Augusto closely for a few days. These experts carefully watched everything he did and checked his apartment thoroughly. After a few days, they had their report. The good news was that the police couldn't find any signs that the German shepherds were being treated badly or hurt. In fact, these dogs were living in a really nice place. Even though the police and animal rescue services appreciated people who care about dogs and reported concerns, this case turned out to be a big misunderstanding. Augusto's dogs were treated incredibly well, with good food and care. He loved them like they were his own children. Despite feeling upset that people might think he treated his dogs poorly, Augusto found something positive in this strange situation. After the investigation, he turned his hobby into a successful business. He started the Griffin Shepherd Kennels, where he trained dogs to be very well behaved and obedient to their owners. Many dog owners entrusted their puppies to Augusto, and within a few weeks, they received back well-behaved, fully trained dogs that could easily adapt to living in small apartments or any other setting. Although he trained dogs of all breeds, his expertise lay in working with German shepherds. This skilled man closely guarded the secrets of his training methods, but was willing to share that spending a lot of time together was key. Augusto's dogs saw him as part of their pack because he personally fed them twice a day, allowed them to sleep in his room, and devoted plenty of time to exercising with them. When dogs are familiar with their owner's body language and commands and consider them the leader, it results in the kind of unity and discipline witnessed whenever people saw Augusto walking with his dogs. Not only could Augusto confidently guide his own 6 German shepherds without leashes through the streets of Hyannis, but he also claimed he could lead up to 15 unleashed dogs simultaneously without any mishaps. In recent times, he even ventured into the streets of Boston, where his dogs maintained their discipline despite the added noise and different surroundings. His methods earned him an exceptional reputation and made him an internet sensation since 2013 when one of his videos went viral. What are your thoughts on Augusto's affection for dogs? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments below. Thank you.